I have a rowing machine to do some exercise when it rains, and I was doing it. And in front of me was about this big spider, tiny body but long leg, just sitting quietly. That's downstairs next to the garage, and there's not much activity of any insect flying around. So I was thinking, oh, he's just sitting there waiting. Then I thought, this is interesting, because I'm sure when he's just, stuck on this wall and just waiting quietly, not on the nest, but for some reason he was on the wall, just quiet. Maybe I made little noise, but he just stayed there. And I picture that his whole body must be like eyes, ready to feel anything. The whole existence depends on how he can catch the fly or anything like that. Wow. So I have this video. My whole body is eyes or something like that. And that was the same notion that my whole body, not just like a typical conventional, people busy with the mind and always walking in like a big cities, thinking. No, like a swordsmanship. And it's such an opposite. Too busy versus busy in a different way, just attentive, be aware of what's going on and take necessary action. So we were like that when we were, say, 10,000 years ago or something like that, in my estimate. Maybe there was some word already. So if so, maybe 30,000 years ago, even 100,000 years ago, we are like animal. But we may have had the DNA developing to start to use words and logic and stuff like that. But still we have the same construct in our body. And that's why often those athletes train so much, just no mind, no self. Wow. So whatever the situation we are, we have part of that and this brain, like one of those mythology, you call it, in the Greek mythology, the guy with the human head and the body is lion, like a sphinx, like that. Interesting, isn't it? So this attentiveness, like a swordsmanship, is when I mentioned about Einstein. He said he's not smart, but he stayed with the problem for a long time. And I believe that's the same state as samadhi, that he's just calm and quiet. And then come up with a solution for whatever the problem, in this case, more in the brain. But the attitude, the stance, and the state of mind, I believe, what I tend to think, that it's very similar, like athletes and whoever wants to, like Olympic athletes, over and over, and then the unconscious part of who you are become conscious. So without thinking, you can do things. I think Warren Buffett may be like that when it comes to investment, because he has so much accumulated knowledge all over. And therefore, any sign of movement, and also checking on the balance sheet or the annual report to know what's moving and then take appropriate action. It starts to rain again. Anyway, so that's a story of awareness and equanimity, the life of spider. And we don't have much difference, in my view. And when you are in that calm and quiet mind state, you may think it's boring, right? If you're a spider, and if you're human and living like a spider, it doesn't look like anything interesting. But there's a magic as being a human, because we can be like that, but we can't use the brain. like a tool. So we have more tools to play with. Much more versatile. Let's make the best and even learn from the spider, bird, trees. They're all alive. They're all still in the Garden of Eden. And we may be too, in Nirvana. Magical existence of human, that is. Thank you.